the air?
Do I have everybody's attention now? Do I have everybody's attention now?
Don, I got you.
Do I have everybody's
Sunday
attention
night.
now?
You put them cameras on me, then you must be willing to get that heart touch. This a must-see feeling. The news ain't good, then it must be villain. So I say a tag grounded, I don't trust these ceilings. Spread across your nose, and I'm on your ear. Highest necks on the cloud. Am I in the air? Sunday nights, prime time. I flex mine better. Voltron transform to DX Don Mega. And off scene, you probably think I'm nice, cause I flow like a stream to your wireless device. And the smoke full of steam on any given night. I'll short like a piece of any given slice. And for the latest and what is best about, I tune in and tune the rest out, Don. You gotta tell them, am I in the clear? Is this thing on? Am I on the air? On the air?
Well, welcome back everybody to another brand new edition of Am I on the Air? I'm your host Don Mega, and I welcome you to the show tonight. It is season 20, episode 3, and tonight's show is titled For Life. We are broadcasting live here from the Red Dragons radio studios here in lovely Tucson, Arizona on a Sunday. That's right. Remember back in the day, we used to record always on a Sunday. It is Sunday, January the 19th. And it feels nice. It feels good. It feels great. I'm recording at about noon on this Sunday afternoon. Yes, for any of you that listened the first several years of this show, we were a Sunday show. If you listen to the words in the theme song, it always talks about Sunday nights, right? Sunday nights is when we always dropped. And for the last year or two, Sundays are just not a good day for me anymore to record this show. But this is a special occasion because it's a lazy Sunday where basically everybody in my family's got other stuff to do. My wife is out with her mom. The kids are out, and I got time, and time cannot be wasted. So I was sitting around. I woke up. I slept in a little bit this morning, and I said, "Wow, I actually have time on a Sunday afternoon. Let's do an Am I on the Air?" So we're gonna bang it out early this week instead of trying to get this in on a Monday or a Tuesday. I figured, why not? So I'm excited. I'm excited to be here on a Sunday to get you guys caught up with the latest and greatest in entertainment news. I have 2 spoiler-free reviews for you. The top 2 movies in the U.S. right now. Of course, Bad Boys for Life and Doolittle. So I'm going to have those 2 reviews for you. Of course, the week in entertainment news. Shout out, if you haven't heard last week's episode yet, which was titled Mercy, please go back and check out that episode. It was a long one. I mean, that was a regular weekly episode that, we typically go about a half hour, but that episode went just a little under an hour because we were talking Oscar nominations and all kinds of stuff. So if you haven't heard Mercy yet, go back and check that out. And I'm going to shout out one more time because if you haven't listened to our Am I Still on the Air? Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker spoiler review, you need to go listen to that ASAP as well. Hopefully you've seen Star Wars by now. And if for whatever reason you missed our spoiler review of it, I highly recommend you go check that out. Go to our webpage, amiontheair.com. Click on the link that says Am I Still on the Air? And you'll find it right there. It's also available at reddragonsradio.com. Same thing, just look for the link that says Am I Still on the Air? Because it's one of the spin-off episodes. If you're subscribed to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or iHeartRadio, any of those, you should just find it in our normal feed, okay? So, with those shout-outs out the way, let's talk some movie reviews, okay? I'm going to start off hot talking about Bad Boys for Life. That's right, the 3rd movie in the Bad Boys franchise, and I'm going to say right now, man, I am a massive Bad Boys fan. This franchise I have loved for half my life, because the first movie came out in 1995. That's right. This nice little action movie, buddy cop movie directed by Michael Bay. And you all know how much I love Mr. Bay. And, Bad Boys was a really cool buddy cop movie that just had high octane action. And I loved it because it tied in humor. And to me, the best combination you could ever have is action and humor. So that is my ultimate right there. And Bad Boys pulled it off. And then I believe in 2003, we got Bad Boys 2. And Bad Boys 2 is in my top 10 movies of all time. I love Bad Boys 2. The movie is so big. It's so over the top. It's the first movie times up by 1,000. And it's just phenomenal. So I have been such a massive, massive fan. Excuse me. Got to clear my throat. Let me clear my throat. Excuse me. Jesus. Anyways. I've been a massive, massive fan my whole life of Bad Boys. And, Bad Boys 3 is something that they've been trying to do for so many years, man, and especially for me, who does this show for probably the last 9 years. I've been doing this show every week. And I've always been saying, where's the Bad Boys sequel? And there's been so many times where it's gotten close, and then it's been moved off the schedule, and then we get moved back another year, and then it gets moved off the schedule, and it's just, man, I don't know if it's ever going to happen. At one point, they had a Bad Boys 3 and 4 on the calendar. They were going to come out a year apiece from each other. And then 4 got removed from the calendar. And then 3 got reshifted again. And I'm like, oh my God. Well, we finally got it. Michael Bay is not back to direct this time. It's a new up-and-coming duo. I don't want to butcher their name, so I'm not even going to say it. But they definitely honored what Michael Bay did. You could tell that they're trying to pay homage. They're trying to pay respect to Michael Bay because the film looks like a Michael Bay movie to me. It's got that glossiness and it's got that really good action. The humor is still there. This movie was fantastic. I mean, this was a great addition, 20 years later or 17 years later after the second one came out. There's been so many sequels we've seen over the last couple years where they try to do a sequel so many years down the road, and a lot of times it does not work. Bad Boys for Life works. It works on every level because if you're a fan of the first two, I mean, you're so happy to see these two guys together again. Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, Mike Lowrey, and Marcus Burnett, seeing them together again. Their style is so cool. Their chemistry is so awesome. And these movies have great action, and the humor just always fits. And Bad Boys for Life picks it right back up like you never missed a beat and gives you some really cool action, really cool story. It takes these characters literally 17 years later. They've been cops now for a long time, and they're getting older, and, they're talking retirement and all kinds of good stuff. It's what you want. It's what you expect. And this movie delivers on all levels. I cannot wait to go watch it again. I will probably go see it again because shout out to my boy Geeky Pat, who could not make it opening night and had to kind of bounce out on us. He wasn't feeling too well, so we'll have to play catch up with this one. So hopefully you feel better, buddy. But I saw it in IMAX and it was great. It was beautiful and I loved it. And, I would give this one 4 out of 5 stars. If I had to rank it, and I've had a couple people ask me, how do you rank them? This one would probably be my last on the list. Ask me again after I've seen it twice. But right now, I would go 2, 1, 3. That's how I would rank them out. But that's not a knock on this new one. I think it's great. I really, really do. I know I would have given Bad Boys 1 and 2 5 stars. So giving this new one 4 stars, I'm also being asked, why? And, that's a hard one for me to answer. I just know when a movie's a 5-star movie, I know it. I know it in my gut. When I walk out of the theater, I'm going, damn, that's a 5-star movie. I didn't have that exact same feeling. I was super happy. I was pleased. I loved the movie. I just didn't get that 5-star feeling out of me. There was some things that just didn't work for me in the movie. I felt like they didn't pay full respect to some of the things that had happened in previous films. Like some of the stuff was glossed over. But that's just me. That's me nitpicking a little bit, but it's still an amazing movie, and that's why I give it 4 out of 5. So I love it, and I only got one question for y'all. What you gonna do when they come for you? So had to do it, right? So there you go. Bad Boys for Life, 4 out of 5 stars. And I will say, we are coming up, just to show you how much I was anticipating this movie, we are planning to record our annual top 10 countdown from the previous year and our top 10 most anticipated of 2020. And I will, spoiler alert you right now, to let you know that Bad Boys for Life is on my list out of my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2020. So that just goes to show you, of everything coming out, I've already seen one of these movies. So that's how much I've been anticipating this film, that it already had made my list. We just haven't been able to record yet, but I have my list ready, and it is on there, and it's pretty high up there too. So just to show you my love for the Bad Boys. Okay, the second film I do not have as much love for, and it's Dolittle. Dolittle is a remake, of course. Dr. Dolittle, you know it. There's the old school original films. There's the Eddie Murphy films, which took it kind of contemporary. And I'll tell you, I really like the Eddie Murphy films. I actually rewatched one of them with my daughter a couple months ago. And they're funny, man. They're funny. But then... So this is a big relaunch now with Robert Downey Jr. and they're going back old school style, and and the voice cast, amazing. I remember when Robert Downey signed on to this project, I was like, okay, that's interesting. His first movie outside of Marvel, and he's going to be doing the Dr. Dolittle, okay? I remember the movie was actually called Dr. Dolittle and the Fantastic Voyage or something like that. And they got a big voice cast like Rami Malek, John Cena, Kamal Nungiani. Sorry, I know I'm fucking up that last part. There's a lot of people that pop up in this thing. Unfortunately, the movie sucks. It sucks, and I just super disappointed. It's one of the biggest bombs in years. This movie cost $175 million to make. This was supposed to come out like 2 years ago, and they had to go back and they had to reshoot things and make new scenes, and they kept trying to salvage this thing, and new directors came in, and unfortunately it just doesn't work. I chuckled a couple times, and that was about the extent of it. Overall, I was just super, super bored. I will say this though for it. I took my daughter. She really wanted to see it. I was on the fence. I told her, I said, if you want to see it, I'll take you. If you don't, then we're not going. So that's how much I wanted to see this movie. But she said, no, let's go. I want to see it. And she really liked it. She got some big laughs out of it. She really dug all the animals. So I will say, from a kid perspective, this movie might work for the younger audience. Unfortunately, for probably anybody 10 and up, this movie is not going to work. And it is very unfortunate. I love Robert Downey, of course. And I love talking animals, man. I'm a sucker for talking animals, but this movie just could not get the job done for me. And it was an embarrassment at times. It just didn't work. And it's very unfortunate. So, for Dolittle, man, I would give it 2 out of 5 stars. I hate to do it to you, but that's the way it's got to go. 2 out of 5 for Dolittle. My daughter, she gave it 5 stars, but she gives everything 5 stars. Me and her just had a big talk earlier today about the star scale and how to really break it down. And after I really kind of got her to understand, she actually changed her Dolittle score from 5 to 3. So that's just to give you an example. She goes, okay, I think it gets a 3. I'm like, okay, that makes more sense then. That is a perfect score from a 6-year-old, a 3 out of 5. I'm trying to get her to understand the star scale a little bit better because she gives everything a 5. And I love that though. I mean, it's very pure. She's a kid, man. If she laughs and she even remotely enjoys a movie, she wants to give it a 5, just to show her love. And I think it's super cute, but I want her to get more realistic with these film scores. So like, not everything can be a 5. So there you have it, my friends. There's my 2 spoiler-free movie reviews to kick us off. Bad Boys for Life, 4 out of 5 stars, and Dolittle 2 out of 5. All right. Actually, I want to shout out one more thing. Speaking of new things, I did check out the new HBO show, The Outsider. The first 2 episodes are out now. We watched the first 2 episodes last night. This is based on the best-selling book by Stephen King, where basically a kid gets murdered and they think this guy did it, but then it looks like he was also seen out of town that day, so could he have done it? But there's witnesses, and typical Stephen King, it's creepy, it's, what's up, is it supernatural, what's going on? I really dug these first 2 episodes. I like the way it was shot. I like the darkness. I like the just wondering what is going on right now. My wife read this book and she loved it, and she's super into the show right now. So I'm obviously trying to figure it out, as she already knows what happens. But yeah, I really, really dug it. So I just wanted to give that a shout out. Anytime I try something new, I try to tell you guys about it. Definitely worth the check out. The Outsider on HBO. It's on Sunday nights. And I know I'm going to be checking out the new HBO comedy series Avenue 5 later tonight as well too, which looks really, really good with Hugh Laurie and Josh Gad on the spaceship. It's a comedy. It's a half-hour comedy. Don't know much about it, but it looks really damn funny, so I'm going to be checking that out. We'll let you know how that goes. I also did finish Runaways over on Hulu. Runaways Season 3. It's the final season. It was an excellent season. I think it was the best season of the show that we've had yet. And it's very unfortunate that the show's been canceled, but I highly recommend, if you haven't seen Season 3 yet, to check it out. It's really, really good. Okay? So with that all being said, let's switch gears over to the news of the week and get you caught up with the latest and greatest. So the funny thing is, I'm talking about a brand new Stephen King show based on a book, The Outsider. It's awesome. Well, something that isn't awesome and not good for Stephen King is that Amazon just announced that their planned Dark Tower TV show canceled. So as one is blooming on HBO with The Outsider, another one falls, and that's the Dark Tower series over on Amazon. That's right. Long in development. This was supposed to tie into the movie that came out a couple years ago with Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey. That movie bombed, so now they were like, oh, we'll still do the TV show. Yeah, somebody got smart and said, why? Why would we still do the TV show? Nobody wants this shit. So it has been canceled. So don't be looking for that anymore. An Aquaman animated miniseries is coming to the new HBO Max streaming service. That's right. Interesting. James Wan is going to be a producer on it. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a like Jason Momoa kind of Aquaman stories being told in animated form. I don't know. I think it's going to be called King of Atlantis, Aquaman King of Atlantis. It's going to be a 3-part animated series. I'm guessing it's, based on his Aquaman series, since he is the producer. So I don't think we're going to get blonde hair Aquaman. But hey, I'm really loving that HBO Max is starting to dig in to the superhero side of things. This new streaming service, I think, is going to be the true competition for Netflix when everything is said and done. And I love that they're leaning into the superhero stuff. So as much as I don't care very much for animated, if it's only a 3-part kind of thing, I will definitely check it out, especially with James Wan's involvement. Speaking of HBO's Max's superhero stuff, we got some little bit of details about the new upcoming Green Lantern series that they're going to be doing, which gets me super excited. We're being told it's going to span several decades and focus on 2 stories about different Green Lanterns that are on Earth, as well as one in space. And they will be going into the Sinestro story. So I love this. This got me super excited to hear just those little details. It's exactly what I want. Geeky Pat should be super excited because we're getting something Green Lantern here. We're probably going to get Hal Jordan. We're probably going to get John Stewart. I love that we're going to hear the Sinestro story. This is badass. I'm very, very excited, and I cannot wait. This is my most anticipated show, I think, coming to that new HBO Max. TBS has renewed American Dad for 2 more seasons. Apple has acquired a new Beastie Boys story from filmmaker Spike Jonze, so they're going to be adapting that. Taika Waititi supposedly is being approached to helm a new Star Wars film. That's right, Taika Waititi did Thor Ragnarok, did Jojo Rabbit. Taika put out a tweet like the next day after these rumors dropped, showing the album cover for the Fleetwood Mac album Rumors, which I thought was super funny. And he didn't say nothing else. He just had to post that picture and you knew what he was talking about, right? Rumors. Yes, it's a rumor. That's all we can lean any of this stuff to, but there's some very high profile outlets saying that this is true. So, of course, Taika is going to try to keep it mum. We know he's got involvement with Star Wars. He did the voice of the robot in The Mandalorian. Obviously he's got ties to Marvel, which is under the Disney umbrella. He's going to be doing Thor 4 here soon. So I can see this happening. But, as most of these guys in Hollywood do, they try to keep it mum because they want to try to keep stuff as much of a surprise as possible. So that is that. So we'll see what happens on that front. Watchmen over on HBO. Don't look for a season 2 anytime soon. It does not look like it's happening. Showrunner David Lindelof, who did it. And I'm going to tell you guys this, because when we did the announcement for this show, like a year ago, right? I said, hey, David Lindelof's going to do his version of Watchmen. He came out and he was very clear that he had a 1-season story to tell. He said, I have an arc to tell 1 season, and that's all I'm really looking to do. That was that. Fast forward a year later, the show is over, and everybody's saying, where's season 2? Well, guess what? Damon Lindelof has left the project, and he said, I told the story I had. I don't have anything left to tell. He did give his blessing to HBO to continue the series if they want to, but as of right now, HBO is saying, hey, if Damon doesn't want to come back, then we don't want to go back to it either. So as of right now, season 2 is dead of Watchmen. So I know there was a little cliffhanger. I actually haven't even watched it yet. I have it on my DVR. I will get to it sooner, hopefully, rather than later. But it is what it is, man. 1 season of goodness and we're out. So there you go. He told you guys a year ago this was going to happen. So don't be too mad. Apple has set the banker for a 2-week theatrical run before it hits the Apple Plus streaming service. So I think this looks like a pretty cool movie. I'll definitely just watch it on Apple Plus when it comes out. I'm not going to hit the theater for it. But yeah, looking forward to the banker with Samuel L. Jackson and the Falcon himself, Anthony Mackie. Guess what's coming back also to another streaming service? Remember, NBC has their streaming service coming called Peacock, and it looks like they're going to be doing a MacGruber. That's right, MacGruber, with Will Forte reprising his role as MacGruber. There's a new show in development for the Peacock series streaming service to do MacGruber, and I could not be happier. MacGruber started off as a silly-ass spoof that was on Saturday Night Live. Then it became a movie, which is actually a pretty damn funny movie. It's super over the top, but it's pretty funny. And I know they've been wanting to make a sequel for a long time, and I think this is going to be their way back in. Without doing a movie sequel, they'll just do a new TV series. So hopefully that will come out before the end of the year on the Peacock network. I'm super excited about that. Something I'm not excited about is the new video game Cyberpunk 2077, which I've been so anxious to play. It was supposed to come out in a couple months, and now it has been officially delayed until September. So that's unfortunate. It will be in September. The game makers say, hey, we just want to make sure all the bugs are worked out and that this game is 100% fluid by release. So they want to test it some more. I get it and I appreciate it, but as a fan, as somebody that really wants to play this game, it just sucks that they just pushed it back that far. Early tracking for the Birds of Prey movie has it opening around $52 million. John Bernthal is set to star in King Richard, and he'll be playing Coach Rick Macy. That's right, this is the true story about Venus and Serena Williams and their dad, who's going to be played by Will Smith. And now John Bernthal joining the cast, so that's a great addition there. Adam McKay's The Uninhabitable Earth gets a series order over at HBO Max. Wil Wheaton is set to host a new Picard after show called The Ready Room. That's right, and that will be on CBS All Access. Netflix has officially put an indefinite hold on Mindhunter Season 3. That's right. The cast has been officially let off their contracts. As of this point, the show looks to be done. They just don't know because of the schedule with David Fincher and the writers and just everything going on. They don't know when they can come back and do Season 3. So instead of holding on to everybody, they've let everybody go, and they'll see if they can pick it up at a later time. So an indefinite hold has been placed on Mindhunter Season 3. The Safdie brothers are back with a short film starring Adam Sandler, so you could check that out. That just got released, and it's a very short film bringing back Adam Sandler, who, of course, they did Uncut Gems with. Game of Thrones showrunners, HBO drama Confederate is officially scrapped. I kind of had a feeling about this. This show was supposed to come out last year, then it got put on hold, and now we're just getting the official confirmation that the show is donezo. We have the first trailer for Season 3 of The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. We have the first trailer for Guns Akimbo, starring Daniel Radcliffe, which at first I didn't even watch this trailer because I'm just like, whatever. And then my brother-in-law was like, did you see that Guns Akimbo trailer? It looks really good. So I watched it, and I gotta say, it does look pretty good. It looks fucking batshit crazy, but I kind of dig it. So yeah, check out that trailer if you want to see something unique. We also have the trailer for The Night Clerk, starring Ty Sheridan. It's a new horror movie he's in. Chris Rock says that his Saw reboot will be bloody and gory, but it will also have some humor. So, makes sense, and I like the sound of that mix right there. John Cena says he was blown away by working with James Gunn on the new Suicide Squad movie. He put out a big statement talking about James Gunn and just how much he wowed him and how just great he is. So, I thought it was pretty cool and really nice of John Cena to come out and say. There is a leaked script of supposedly Colin Trevorrow's unused Star Wars Episode 9 script. This leaked, and then everybody started talking about it, and there was no confirmation. Rumor has it that there is confirmation now by somebody saying that that is the script for what would have been Colin Trevorrow's Episode 9 if he would have directed it. It's a pretty interesting script, man. So if you want to dig into that, take a look and kind of browse around to find that and check it out, because it's a completely different movie, man, for sure. So it's interesting to see all the changes that they did make, even though because Colin Trevorrow's name is still on The Rise of Skywalker as a writer. So they did keep some elements, but man, it's a big different movie. I think they said the original title was going to be The Duel of the Fates. So even from the title, it was changed all the way down. So, hey, check it out if you're interested. It's kind of interesting to me. Sorry for Your Loss and Limetown have been canceled over on Facebook Watch. Better Call Saul has been renewed for a 6th and final season over on AMC. So that they're going to be wrapping that one up. I got some more information on Peacock. Remember, so I told you Peacock is the new NBC Universal streaming service, right? And they officially announced that they're going to launch in July, which is a bummer because I remember the original launch date was supposed to be April. So now it's July, and that they will have different service tier options. They will have an ad-free option that you can watch. They will have an ad, obviously one with ads, one without ads. If you're an Xfinity customer, you could possibly get it for free, or there might just be a little $5 charge onto your bill to get it, which is pretty interesting. I actually am a Comcast customer myself, so I feel like, there might be something extra I can get with it. That's where the April date comes from. Sorry, I forgot. I'm actually looking through the news right now. They announced that Comcast's Xfinity X1 and Flex customers will get early access to the platform beginning on Wednesday, April 15th. So that's where I remember the April date. So April 15th will be for existing Comcast customers. So like myself, I'll get to watch it in April, and then a lot of other people will get to subscribe to it in July. It was revealed that the service will offer a free ad-supported tier, as well as options for an ad-free service, it looks like it's going to be about $5 a month. Both will come with ads, but the premium customers can upgrade to an ad-free experience for an additional $5 a month. So any customer can purchase the ad-free experience directly for $10. So it looks like if you have Comcast, it's either free for the ad version or $5 for the ad-free version. And if you don't have Comcast, it's going to be $10 a month at $9.99. So there you go. So if you do the free one, of course, you're going to have less content that you can watch. You can only watch select episodes of marquee Peacock originals, while premium subscribers will be able to watch the full seasons of all original projects. Peacock has at least 20 scripted series in various stages of development, including the Saved by the Bell revival, the Punky Brewster sequel, and Brave New World adaptation. All of these original series are detailed in the gallery on the article that we have posted up on our Twitter page. So if you want to read more, check that out. In addition to the original series, Peacock will feature a robust selection of library content. The service will house all episodes of 30 Rock, Bates Motel, Battlestar Galactica, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Cheers, Covert Affairs, Downton Abbey, Everybody Loves Raymond, Frasier, Friday Night Lights, The King of Queens, Married with Children, Monk, The Office, Parenthood, Parks and Recreation, Psych, Royal Pains, Saturday Night Live, Superstore, and Will and Grace. Newly announced TV acquisitions include Law & Order, the One Chicago franchises, George Lopez, 2.5 Men, and Yellowstone. And this is kind of cool here as an additional perk. Peacock Premium subscribers will get early access to NBC's late night series. Starting in July, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon will be available at 8 p.m. Eastern each night, followed by Late Night with Seth Meyers at 9 p.m. So instead of waiting, you can actually watch them early on the streaming service, which is pretty cool. And of course, I know the big thing is the Saved by the Bell revival. That's what we're all getting this service for, right? And Punky Brewster sequel. But yeah, so lots of stuff going on with Peacock. Of course, we just talked about MacGruber. And last week's show, we talked about possibly doing a Quantum Leap show. So very, very cool, man. There's lots of stuff that could be going down on Peacock. I love streaming service, man. It gets me all stoked. I'm like, ooh, what's next? So there you go. New Amsterdam has cast Gina Gershon as Dr. Bloom's alcoholic mother. Carla Gugino reacts to the unusual and unforeseen news that Cinemax will end original programming. That's right. So this caught me by surprise. The president of Cinemax said, yes, we are not doing original shows anymore, that we're only going to focus on movies. Okay, very interesting. But you have shows that are on the network that are not done yet. One of these shows is Carla Gugino's show, Jet, which just came out last year. And I gotta tell you, I loved it. I mean, in the middle of the show being on, my Cinemax subscription went away for whatever reason. Comcast decided, Cinemax isn't a part of your tier anymore. So I had to add Cinemax to my Hulu just to be able to finish Jet. Jet was going to be working on a season 2. Well, now it's in limbo because Cinemax is saying we're not doing original shows anymore. So now there's no season 2. So she says that they're shopping the show around now to other streaming services or networks. I hope somebody picks it up because I thought Jet was a great show and I was excited for season 2. So kind of a bummer that Cinemax is stepping away from this stuff because Cinemax is also the home to one of my all-time favorite TV shows, which is Banshee. Banshee is an amazing show that was a Cinemax exclusive. I know a lot of people watch Strike Back, which is another big Cinemax show. You know, so they had some pretty cool stuff that they did, and it's unfortunate that they're stepping away from that original programming. Let's see here. HBO, we got an article up with the HBO Max boss just kind of talking about some of the stuff we've already talked about, like the Green Lantern series, the Aquaman animated series, but they also talked the Gossip Girl reboot, Friends reunion, different things they'll be doing because Friends, remember, is going to be going to HBO Max as well. So check out that article if you're interested on that. The Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover is officially over. We already talked about it on last week's show. But we have a pretty cool article up with the questions and with a Q&A basically that was posed after the show ended. So it answers some of those loose questions you might be wondering. So check it out. Young Sheldon has cast Reba McEntire as somebody's ex-wife. We can't tell you who because it's a spoiler. But yay, she's coming to Young Sheldon. The Game of Thrones spin-off prequel House of the Dragon is looking like it'll launch in 2022. The Hot Ones game show spinoff gets a True TV premiere date, and the first trailer has been released. So check that out so you can see the Hot Ones game show. I'm a big wrestling fan, as you all know, and there's another big wrestling company that came out a couple months back called AEW. And AEW runs on TNT, and they've just been renewed through 2023 over on TNT, and they've officially greenlit a second series for later in the year. So congratulations to AEW, which is definitely proving that they're making it very, very successful. So congratulations to them. AMC has cast Madeline Ackerman, Betsy Brandt, and Charlie Heaton in its new sci-fi romance anthology called Soulmates. Emmy winner Courtney B. Vance has signed on to star in AMC's legal drama 61st Street. Let's see. Mortal Kombat. We know that there's a new live-action movie coming later, in not next year, but the year after, 2021, I believe. But there's a new animated movie that's coming out. It's called Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. And they released the voice cast for that, which does have Joel McHale and Jennifer Carpenter headlining the voice cast. Looks pretty interesting. Definitely check this out when it gets released. Zoe Kravitz opens up about her Matt Reeves' The Batman movie that she's starting to film on. Remember, she's playing Catwoman, so pretty cool article up there. No shocker here, but Bad Boys 4 is officially in the works over at Sony. Shocker, right? A movie makes, $60 million in its opening weekend. Of course, we're going to start working on the next one. The only thing that bums me out is they should have saved the title Bad Boys for Life for the fourth movie. They could have done Bad Boys 4 Life, right? So what the hell are you going to name the fourth one now? I don't know. I'm just saying. So, but very happy to hear that Bad Boys 4 is back in development. And a movie that I didn't think was in development anymore is the Don't Breathe sequel. Remember that little horror movie, Don't Breathe, that came out a couple years ago with a blind Stephen Lang? Well, they finally are moving forward with it, and they've just hired Don't Breathe co-writer Rodo Sayagues to direct the movie. So he'll be making Don't Breathe 2, which will follow Stephen Lang coming back and having his past haunt him. So we'll see. I loved Don't Breathe. It was a really good movie, so I'm glad to see that they are moving forward with that sequel. 20th Century Fox and Fox Searchlight have been rebranded because, remember, they got bought out by Disney. So they're like, we're not a Fox company anymore, so we have to do some rebranding. So basically, 20th Century Fox is now just 20th Century Pictures, and Fox Searchlight will be simply known as Searchlight Pictures. So there you go. 20th Century Studios and Fox and Searchlight Pictures. Moving forward. Steve Martin and Martin Short have a new true crime spoof that has been ordered over at Hulu. AMC is developing ideas for a potential third season for The Terror. Hank Azaria steps down as the voice of Apu on The Simpsons. So after all these years, he will no longer voice the character. We got a pretty cool article up with the Arrowverse executive producer explaining how the Ezra Miller cameo came to be. So check that out. It's pretty interesting. The Walking Dead World Beyond gets a premiere date and a synopsis revealed. So check that out if you are interested. David O. Russell and Christian Bale are in talks to reteam for a new Untitled film. If you saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you know that Quentin Tarantino had this little... He filmed a mini series inside of the movie called Bounty Law, which was a little TV show that Leonardo DiCaprio's character was in, right? As he starred as his character, Rick Dalton. Well, they're going to make a Bounty Law TV series that'll be 5 episodes long, and Quentin Tarantino will write and direct all 5 episodes. I don't think Leonardo DiCaprio is going to come back to play this character. It sounds like he wants to make the show be its own thing, not really tied to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He wants to make this little short story that he came up with when he was making Once Upon a Time. So very, very interesting nonetheless, and I love that he's going to write and direct all 5 episodes. Supposedly, National Treasure 3 is in the works. That's right, as one of the co-writers for Bad Boys for Life is currently working on the script for Disney. So there you go. National Treasure 3 could be a thing with Nicolas Cage coming back. I love it. Moff Gideon is going to have a larger role in the 2nd season of The Mandalorian. Netflix says they're going to spend a whopping $17 billion on content this year. Man, whew, that must be nice to have that kind of money. All episodes are now streaming of The Mandalorian, by the way. If you haven't watched it, if you haven't caught up, come on, man. It's there. It's ready for you now. Let's go get it. The Disney Plus has renewed the Jeff Goldblum series for a 2nd season, The World According to Jeff Goldblum. So that is now available, so check that out. Lifetime officially sets Surviving Jeffrey Epstein documentary series. Chris Hemsworth is set to become a human guinea pig in an upcoming National Geographic Health docuseries. Psych 2 is moving along, and Psych 2 Lassie Come Home has cast Richard Schiff as staging a West Wing reunion to the show. Sarah Chalke, Allison Miller, Kadeem Hardison also appear in the sequel to the TV series. Oscar Isaac is set to star in The Great Machine, which is going to be a film adaptation of the Ex Machina comics. I found this kind of funny when he got cast because Oscar Isaac already did a movie called Ex Machina, and then he's doing another movie called Ex Machina, and then they had to retitle it, and now it's called The Great Machine. So there you go, based on the Brian K. Vaughan comic. Grownish and Good Trouble have both been renewed over at Freeform. We have the 2020 Producers Guild Awards winner list, if you want to check that out. That just happened last night. That is up on our social media. Bob's Burger executive producers, musical comedy, Central Park slates an Apple TV premiere, so it's going to be on Apple TV+. The new 911 spinoff, 911 Lone Star, debuts tonight. We got an article up talking about everything you need to know about the spinoff, including when to possibly expect the first little crossover between the other show. Let's see. And that was that. That's the news, my friends, of the last week. Actually, more news than I thought, for being that I'm not even talking about a full week, since I did last week's show on a Tuesday. I'm recording on a Sunday, so I mean, we didn't even have to go back that far, and there was already that much news that had dropped. So it's always weird in the world there of what to cover and what not to cover. But hey, I want to talk about the box office. So the official top 10 is actually very loose right now, because it is a holiday weekend. Tomorrow's Martin Luther King Day. So a lot of times the box office doesn't fully come out until that Monday. But I do have a loose standing as it is this morning, and that is number 10 is Frozen 2 with 3.7 million. Number 9 is Like a Boss with 3.8. Number 8 is Knives Out with 4.3. Number 7 is Little Women with 5.9. Number 6 is Just Mercy with 6 million. Number 5 is Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker with 8.3 million. Number 4 is Jumanji The Next Level with 9.5 million. Number 3 is 1917 with 22.1 million. Number 2 is Doolittle with 22.5 million. And number 1 is Bad Boys for Life with $59.1 million. So this is for the 3-day. Now, what you'll see with the box office is a lot of people have the 3-day and then they have a 4-day because of a holiday weekend. So based on looking at it for the 4-day weekend, the estimates are as follows. They're looking at Bad Boys making $68 million. So right now it's at 59. They're thinking it's going to round out about 68 when you count in Monday. And then when you have Doolittle, it's at 22 right now, and it's projected to make about 30 when you count in the 4-day weekend there. So just some loose stats to let you know where things are at box office wise, since I'm recording the show a little bit earlier than normal. Release date wise, on Tuesday on Blu-ray and DVD is going to be the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, which I'm very excited about. I actually have that pre-ordered on digital for Tuesday. It's one of the rare circumstances that the digital and physical formats all come out on the same day. So I have mine pre-ordered. I can't wait to watch this movie. Super, super excited for Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Also, Zombieland Double Tap comes out, The Addams Family, and Black and Blue, and Countdown all come out on Tuesday. So, some pretty decent movies there. I did not see Countdown. Black and Blue was just okay. Addams Family I didn't really care for. Zombieland Double Tap I really liked, so I already have that on digital from weeks ago. And your theatrical releases on Friday are going to be The Gentlemen, and The Turning. So those two movies are the big releases on Friday. I think we will be checking out The Gentlemen. That's the new movie with Matthew McConaughey and Charlie Hunnam, Colin Farrell. So that is going to be a good one, I think, directed by Guy Ritchie. So his big comeback to his old school status after coming off of Aladdin. So there you go, my friends. That is our show of the week. We're wrapping it up here right around the 45-minute mark. So a little bit longer than I thought on this Sunday afternoon, but it's all right. We got it locked and loaded, and we're good for another week here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, remember, check it out. Our website is amiontheair.com. Our, jeez, man. Yeah. Follow us on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/amiontheair and give us a like. You can follow us on Twitter at amiontheair. You can follow me on Twitter directly at DXDonMega. And don't forget that you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcast. Subscribe, give us a 5-star rating. Please hook it up, man. I put a lot of hard work into this show. If Apple's not your thing, don't you worry. We always got you covered because we're on Spotify, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on Spreaker, Stitcher, TuneIn, we already said iHeartRadio, Google Play Podcast. We're all over the interwebs, so make sure you subscribe wherever you want to get your favorite podcast at. And of course, we're available on YouTube. We're available on Instagram. Just search Am I on the Air and you should be able to find us there. Shout out to our great affiliates at reddragonsradio.com. That's reddragonsradio.com. Follow on Twitter at reddragonsradio as well. And follow me on Stardust. That is the awesome app where I do mini video reviews for movies, TV shows, trailers. It is awesome. You guys should be on Stardust. Follow me. I'll follow you back. You can find me simply at Don Mega, DONMEGA. All right. So that'll do it for me on this Sunday afternoon, January the 19th. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of my lazy afternoon. I hope you all do the same. Take care of yourselves and each other. And until next time, y'all. Peace.
Bye, everybody.
Red Dragon!